Hold on guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the highly anticipated Money in the Bank predictions video. Now, as you guys may know, Money in the Bank is in a couple days, and I was going to do this prediction video on Saturday, but this PLE starts at 3 p.m. on the East Coast, which I live. So I want to do this video real quick to do the predictions, and let's get things started. Because I pray the card isn't going to change tomorrow night. So we're going to start things off with the match I'm most looking forward to, and that is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, to me, I think that there's plenty of people that can win this. Now, the first person I think who is definitely not going to win it is Bayley. Now, I think Bayley's already won the match. She won it back in 2017. Actually, not 2017. She won it back in 2019, I believe. And Bayley is on a huge losing streak right now in the WWE. Well, she recently won the qualifying match. And I also think that Becky Lynch is not going to win it. I think Becky and Bayley are there for star power, but Becky and Bayley are not going to win this thing. Now, I think Trish Stratus, I was floating around with the idea that Trish could be I think the dark horse is definitely Trish Stratus or Zelina Vega. I think Trish Stratus would add a lot of, I think it's like the Logan Paul effect, where a lot of people know who Trish Stratus is. She's one of the all-time best women wrestlers. I think that she would be like WWE's way of getting eyes on Zoe Stark, or maybe like something like that. And I also think that Zoe Stark and Trish, they have about equal chance to win. I think they're going to try to help each other win the match, which I think we will see. And I don't see Trish or Zoe betraying each other during this match. The bigger betrayal that I see is between Io and Bayley. It's been teased. I think that Zoe Stark is at the point where you can't separate it from Trish yet, but we're absolutely ready to see Damage Control combust. Now, I know it sucks, and one of the bigger parts about Dakota Kai's injury is that it was horrible timing on part of the storyline, in which Damage Control was straight up arguing with each other. Now, Zelina Vega is probably the biggest dark horse, because I think Zelina winning would bring much more exposure to LWO in a wrestling sense. And I think Zelina is a very good winner choice. I think in the Triple H regime, I think Triple H would seriously consider Zelina Vega. But the person who is the favorite among the fans, and I think should be the overall favorite all by herself, is Io Sky. Io Sky should win this match. Out of all 5 of these women, Io Sky is the favorite, and I think she should win, because perfect way to break up Damage Control. I mean, if you're going to break up Damage Control, if you're running out of ideas, if you're Triple H, this is the way that you do it. You do it by having Bayley and Io argue about the briefcase. Io either shoves Bayley off or something and wins Money in the Bank. That would be perfect. I think also something needs to happen with Damage Control overall. They've absolutely been stinking it up when it comes to Damage Control being in matches together, or multiple members of Damage Control. Io, or maybe even Io winning, would change that. So my prediction is that Io Sky is going to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase match. And I think this is the best plan. Obviously, I wouldn't mind Zelina Vega. I would personally do good. But I just think Trish, Zoe, Becky, they just wouldn't be good winners. And I mean, Bayley would be interesting, but it would be very hard to see the direction of Bayley winning it. So I think Io Sky is the right winner here. Next up is Gunther and Matt Riddle. Now, I think that this match is going to be good wrestling-wise. It's very random. You know, I'm not the hugest fan of Matt Riddle on the mic or even his gimmick. But overall, in the wrestling sense, Gunther versus Matt Riddle is going to steal the show in the UK. And I think that this is a great-looking match. And obviously, the build to this has been pretty solid. You know, Matt Riddle has been mad at Gunther He's been mad at his henchman. Riddle injured Vinci. He put him on crutches so Imperium can't fight in tag team matches. It's been a great build. I think the build has been great. And especially in the main event, Riddle trying to confront Gunther any way he can. And Gunther sort of respects that. And Gunther ended up, and because of that sort of light respect, Gunther ended up accepting this match. And I think that this is going to be very interesting. Obviously, there's a rumor going around that there's going to be a shock result. I totally don't think it's this one. I think Gunther has to break the Honky Tonk Man's reign, and then we can evaluate our options. Gunther's just flat out deserving, and him losing the title now would be a massive blow for me. And it doesn't make... Matt Riddle does not deserve a title right now. Now what I will say is that maybe he deserves an RKO. You know what I mean? I right now I'm going to say that Randy Orton isn't going to return during Money in the Bank. I'm more suggestive that Drew McIntyre returns during Money in the Bank, because Drew McIntyre has a history of being involved, especially if you guys remember Clash at the Castle. Drew McIntyre was heavily beloved by the crowd. Drew McIntyre would get a monster reaction. Now, I know Randy Orton would get a monster reaction, but Drew, I think in a UK setting, it would be a good trigger pulling when it comes to Drew McIntyre's return. And I think Gunther versus Matt Riddle is a good spot. Now, I think Gunther's going to retain the title in a clean sort of manner. I think he's going to beat up Matt Riddle. But I think that Drew McIntyre is going to get invested. And maybe, just maybe, Drew McIntyre returns as a babyface, because I think we're going to get Randy Orton as a heel. Drew McIntyre and Gunther at SummerSlam. I think that would be great. Now, a lot of people would be maybe a little bit disappointed because everybody is just at the bit, because, there's been a lot of people saying that Randy Orton could return. So, and obviously Randy Orton is, I don't want to say this in a disrespectful way, he's more beloved than Drew McIntyre is. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but keep an eye out on a return during this match. Next up, we have the women's tag team titles on the line. Shayna and Ronda defending against Liv and Raquel. I got not much to say about this. I was always under the belief that Liv was going to miss most of the year, or if not the whole summer. She wasn't going to be there until SummerSlam. Liv is a warrior. For recovering this quickly from an injury, it's great. And I think her return was great. And I think Dakota Kai's injury, torn ACL, I think she's just not going to be back until the year 2024. This match is going to be good. I suspect that this match isn't going to last very long, judging by the other matches on the card. This is just a match that's sort of in there as a match compared to everything else. I even think that Gunther and Matt Riddle is going to be longer than this. Though, I think that everyone knows what's going to happen. I don't think Liv is going to take the pin here. I think that Liv is going to be in a fighting mood. However, I think that Raquel is going to get pinned by Ronda Rousey or tap out to Ronda Rousey. And they are going to retain the championships. Next up is probably one of the match that could be the match of the night. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. The build to this has been fantastic. That crowd, that I forgot where it was, that crowd not letting Finn Balor talk. The build has been great. It's been going through NXT as well. It's been a great build. Now, I think that Seth and Finn's going to be given a lot of time. And I do think we're going to see the Demon. If you want my honest opinion, we are going to see the Demon. Seth, who keeps repeating, bring your best version of you. They're clearly just trying to knock the door of the Demon, and I think it's going to come out Money in the Bank. Now, will Seth Rollins lose the World Heavyweight Championship? I think it's unrealistic no matter which version of Finn Balor comes out. I still think we got that storyline of JD McDonough, Damian Priest, and Finn. I still think that storyline is going to play out on Monday Night Raw, but I think, I think, honestly, the Demon and all, I still think Seth is going to win. And I think that this is going to be taking place before the men's. Now, if the men's Money in the Bank ladder match starts the night, then we are going to be in for a very interesting night. Though I do think the women's Money in the Bank ladder match is the more likelier to start, because there's absolutely no mainline women's titles being defended rather than the women's tag team ones, which is the worst booked women's titles. However, I no matter what happens, I know I may be boring, but Seth Rollins is going to walk out of Money in the Bank World Heavyweight Champion. Next up, Cody Rhodes and Dom. I love it. The more and more we get closer to this match, the more I am invested. And I am totally invested that this deserves to be a PLE match. Now, I don't know what will happen. I think the crowd will get a loud whoa for Cody. I think the boos for Dom's going to be outrageous. And I think that this match is going to be towards the main event. Maybe a co-main event of some sort. But I think it's going to be high up the card. Because I think that I think that this match, it's been all over Monday Night Raw. However, I think that we're going to see a massive upset here. I really do. And it's going to involve Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. I think Brock's going to show up. Brock just randomly disappeared for no reason after he's done with Cody. Brock Lesnar is due showing up. Cody better not think that Brock Lesnar hasn't seen him call him out. So I think that Brock's going to F5 Cody. When Cody Rhodes maybe hits a crossroads, he's about to hit like a third crossroads on Dom. And Brock Lesnar just comes through the London crowd. Maybe his entrance. F5's Cody. And Dom wins. I've been settled on this idea for a while. And I think Dom winning would not only be huge for Dom, but, you know, it would immediately lead into Cody and Brock Lesnar in a big stipulation match, because not only Brock Lesnar is pissed, but now Cody Rhodes is absolutely pissed that Dom just beat him. So, to me, at the very least, Dom, and this would also be a great way to potentially push Dom towards maybe a championship. Who knows? Next up, we got the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and the field is absolutely hype. It's Pete Dunne, aka Butch, Damian Priest, the leader of LWO, Santos, LA Knight, Shinsuke, Logan Paul, and Ricochet. Great lineup and a lot of high flyers here. Now, I think you can consider Damian Priest to be a heavyweight, though we've seen Damian Priest go high-flying in the past. This match is going to be very interesting. Now, I think that Ricochet is the first person we can rule out winning, because I think that Ricochet is there for the spots. I think Butch, and I think even if they bring back Pete Dunne, he's got no chance of winning. I think if he brings back Pete Dunne, we're going to see a more brutal side of Butch. And I also think we can rule out Shinsuke Nakamura. He's going to be on TV every week, but I just don't quite think they're going to give him the Money in the Bank contract. I think there are 3 guys that are going to have a good chance of winning. Priest, LA Knight, and Logan. Now, Santos is my underdog, though it's unrealistic seeing Santos or Zelina with the Money in the Bank contract, I'm being honest. Now, I think Damian Priest is probably has the 3rd best odds. I think that the Judgment Day, if they're going to fall apart, or if Damian Priest is going to fall out with Finn Balor, someone would have to think that one of these guys is going to have something good happen to them. And I just can't see Finn Balor walking away World Heavyweight Champion. Now, Logan Paul, now it's been reported by BWE, that's Boozer, pretty much an on-the-spot source, that Triple H doesn't want Logan Paul winning, and I totally agree with that. I think that Logan should be there for stuff, press, whatever you want it, but when it comes to actually winning the match that he's in, no, he shouldn't. And I think Damian Priest and LA Knight are very good Money in the Bank winners. Damian Priest has just proven over the last couple of months that he's been awesome, and LA Knight is the most over men's superstar right now that's a heel. generally the biggest heel in the business by a mile. Generally, LA Knight could be considered the biggest heel in the business alongside Roman Reigns. And I'm not even kidding. Just listen to the crowd reactions over the last couple of weeks for LA Knight. It's insane. However, I'm not believing that LA Knight, or I'm not believing that Logan's out of the running. I think there is still a shot that Logan Paul wins that briefcase. It's just that sneaky feeling that I have that Logan Paul can still win that briefcase. I think Damian Priest would be good. However, my pick is LA Knight. I think I'm going to hope that Triple H is going to deliver a masterclass and give us EO and LA Knight as the Money in the Bank winners. Next up, the main event, and that is the Bloodline Civil War. Roman and Solo versus the Usos. Now, there is like a million different ways you can predict how this matchup was going to go. To me, I think that this is going... I think early on in the match, Roman and Solo are going to squash the Usos apart. Roman and Solo is still an absolute tag team. They're too good. But I think Solo is going to be the biggest factor in this match. Among the Usos competing, Solo is going to be that guy. You got to keep an eye on Solo. And I think that I think that it's over. The Usos turned on Roman. They didn't turn on Roman, but you know what I mean. Solo... The Usos already openly invited Solo to join their side. Solo declined. But during this match, I think Roman is going to yell at Solo. I think Roman is going to be sensitive. I think Roman's going to have high blood pressure. And I think Solo's going to be sick of it. I think Solo... There's just going to be a lot of cinema moments during this match. And I think that I think we're going to see that Samoan spike to Roman. That other absolute viral moment is going to happen during this match. And I think that the Usos are going to take advantage. Jey Uso is going to pin Roman Reigns. I think that Roman is going to get pinned in the UK by the man himself, Jey Uso. However, I think Solo versus Roman could be a potential match for SummerSlam. And maybe the Usos will go after the tag titles. Think about this scenario for a second. Now, I think that Roman and Solo is a little premature, but SummerSlam is the biggest event besides WrestleMania. SummerSlam is bigger than Money in the Bank. So, Solo versus Roman at SummerSlam, if Solo turns on Roman, would be a realistic big match prediction. Now imagine if the Usos go after the tag titles, or Solo joins up with the Usos. There's so many scenarios, but I'm going to go with Solo betrays Roman, and Roman gets pinned by Jey Uso. And I think that is it for the Money in the Bank predictions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys want to drop what you guys think is going to happen in the comments, feel free down below. And I will see you guys next during the SmackDown review. I'll try to get that up early as I can on Saturday morning. But with that being said, I'm done here, and I'll see you all on Friday.